Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. It's Russell with Ink and Paper Blog. Happy Sunday. I hope you guys are having a fantastic weekend. I hope that it's full of family and friends and fun and of course reading. The weather here in Northern California is fantastic. And we just got back actually from walking the dogs. It was beautiful. Actually for Baxter it was a bit warm, so he was ready to come inside after the walk was about halfway over, but that's okay. But I am really enjoying how beautiful the weather is. And today's Sunday was fantastic. I got up, I walked the dogs, I started a new book, which I am absolutely loving. Cannot wait to tell you guys about it. Then we went and picked up a friend from the airport, went and had some breakfast burritos, which were delicious. Came home and I've been reading and laying around with the dogs and of course doing laundry and all that. But that part can be ignored because the rest of the day has been so wonderful. I hope you guys are having a fantastic weekend too. Let's go ahead and start. This is another read and reviewed video. If you are new to my channel, every 3 books that I read on in my real life, I do a video where I review them. I block them into 3 so I can spend some more time talking to you guys about them and giving you more details about how I felt about the books overall. And I'm going to tell you, these are 3 books that you are most certainly going to want on your TBR. So as I always say, get out your pen, get out your paper, get out your Goodreads. You're going to want to write these 3 books down. And also, always, if you are able to order them from your local independent bookstores, please do so, or have your library order them so that you can go ahead and read them yourselves, however you get the books that you read and enjoy. Let's get started. The first book I'm going to tell you about is a debut novel. It is The Bobcat by Katherine Forbes Riley. This is out from Arcade Books and it came out in the month of June. I have to thank Arcade for sending me this early copy. The Bobcat is, I said, a debut novel about a young woman named, I'm going to call her Lorelei just because Gilmore Girls, Lorelei. And she is a young college student who unfortunately has had an event at the college that she's at where she is drugged and raped by an individual, which causes her to sort of go into a deep depression, where she reevaluates and moves colleges to a small liberal arts college in the state of Vermont. In order to sort of make that move, she lives in a small house on the property of some wealthier people where she takes care of their young son. She is, I want to say an artist by nature, but I think that confines her. She does this amazing work, and what Katherine Forbes Riley does in this book so amazingly well is explain to you the art that Lorelei does. She creates sort of comic book strips about different things that she recognizes or reviews and witnesses in the real world. And she does that also by taking the art styles of more famous or historically famous artists and incorporating them into her work. One day, she and the young boy are at the river, which is behind the house where she lives, when an injured bobcat comes up, and then also a hiker who has been following that bobcat for very long distance. I think it's like 300 and something miles. He's been following the bobcat since Maine, and they're now in Vermont. And it really is then a story about how that interaction, that bobcat, the hiker, the introduction of this man into her life allows her to sort of come to terms with the trauma that she has dealt with. And she does that by also interpreting the event and then the events that she's currently going through into her art. And what eventually happens is one day the little boy goes missing, and that sort of brings it all together for her, and her relationship with the hiker, her relationship with the young boy, and ultimately the relationship she has with herself, her past, and who she wants to be in the future. I found this a compelling, well-written, very, very heart-wrenching and emotional debut novel. I will say the language is really flowery. Every once in a while I thought it may have had a metaphor too many, but I really did feel like she had a way of capturing the world that she was describing for Lorelei in a way that seemed like an artist would capture that world, if that makes sense. I really connected with Lorelei as a young woman. I thought she was pitch perfect. The character of the hiker has some interesting history to himself, and some of his antics and some of his characteristics are very, very interesting. I'm not going to tell you because it sort of plays into the story as a whole, but the way that she does it, you kind of are starting to recognize, well, why does he keep doing that? Why does the author keep saying this about him? And then as sort of she delves into it and sort of expands on him as a character, you sort of learn what that is. The relationships are really cool. The town is really well thought out. I really enjoyed this book. I think that Katherine Forbes Riley has something to say, and it was interesting, and I'm really excited to see what she does in the future. So again, that's The Bobcat by Katherine Forbes Riley. This is out now. It did come out in the month of June. I think I said that, so you can get your hands on it. It's a slim little bit of a book, but it definitely packs a punch. The next book I really don't need to spend a lot of time on because it has appeared in a number of videos already, and that is The Nickel Boys by Colson Whitehead. This is his new novel that is coming out from Doubleday on July 16th, 2019. I've already told you guys this is in my top 10 books that I've read so far this year. The story of Elwood Curtis, a young black boy that is in the wrong place at the wrong time and winds up getting sent to a correctional facility for young boys on the wrong side of the law. It's based on an actual facility that existed in Florida. Colson has just moved it to Tallahassee from where it was originally located, and really focuses on what happens to these boys in that rehabilitation facility. It's about a friendship that Elwood starts up with a young boy named Turner, and how that winds up going. And then we also have some modern day from the point of view of Elwood and what he has been doing with his life afterwards. I will tell you, you are not going to expect what happens, and you are going to be on the edge of your seat throughout this entire novel. Colson Whitehead really is one of our best American writers, and this book, to me, is even better than The Underground Railroad, which won all of those awards a few years ago. You guys will want to read this, I absolutely promise. Get your copy, you will love it. And that is The Nickel Boys by Colson Whitehead. Again, this is out from Doubleday on July 16th, 2019, which is really just a couple weeks away. And again, I just want to thank Doubleday for sending me this copy. I also got a copy at Book Expo America. I was blessed with that, and I just want to thank Doubleday so much for sending me these things early. They really are appreciated, and Colson Whitehead's new novel will wind up in my permanent collection before you know it. The last book that I'm going to tell you about today is for all of those fantasy readers in my life, especially if you are into fantasy with epic locations, great character development, a very compelling story, queer representation, and absolutely everything you need to just get lost in a world. And that is book 2 in the Elemental Logic novel series by Laurie J. Marks. This is Earth Magic. These are being reissued now by Small Beer Press, which is partly owned by the amazing Kelly Link. Thank you so much for Small Beer Press for sending me this book. I devoured this over a couple days, and it is a chunkster of a novel for me. I know you epic fantasy readers read those 800 and 900 page books all the time. I'm a novice to you. I bow down to your ability to do that. This is the story, the continuing story of the group of friends from the first book, Fire Logic. What has happened in that book is, you guys, if you remember when I talked about Fire Logic, in case you don't, I'm going to remind you, we are in a world where a group of warriors has come across to this country and conquered it, and at the very beginning of Earth Logic, sort of the leader of that country has died, and now this band of people from across the way have really taken over. It is about a group of friends who are trying to sort of supersede that and protect each other and the world that they love. Tragedy happens, characters happen, the magic is really associated with these different elements. Each type of element has sort of a different skill set. In this character, the earth magic is really an ability to change the country that they live in, and also the world around them. There's a lot of healing in earth magic. A lot of people who are healers sort of have this gift, or a touch of this gift. And this is really about a woman who is meant to lead them all, coming to terms what that means. I don't want to say too much because, as you know, it's the second book in a series and I don't want to ruin it. I was floored by this one. I liked Fire Logic a lot. I loved Earth Logic. I was just absorbed into it. So I think the next one is it air that comes next or water? I can't remember. I don't know, but I need to go and get it because it is amazing. So I highly recommend this series, you guys. This is probably one of those series that has just been a little bit off your radar. If you are a fantasy reader, put it on your radar. And these gorgeous editions that are being reissued by Small Beer Press, please support these local independent presses. They are really worth our time, and they put out such amazing content. Highly, highly recommend this series so far. That's Fire Logic is book 1. This is Earth Logic book 2. Absolutely loving it. So that is a read and reviewed video. 3 books that I've read lately. All of them absolutely worth your time. Want a debut novel? There you go. Read The Bobcat. Want a master at the top of his game? Read The Nickel Boys by Colson Whitehead. Looking for that fantasy series that just envelops you and keeps you going? Earth Logic by Laurie J. Marks. Highly recommend them all. As always, if you are a return subscriber to my channel, thank you so much. I couldn't do this without you. If you are new to my channel, I hope that you like this video and you come back. I do these as a playlist. You can actually see every book that I've read year to date. And until next time, I wish you happy reading and I hope you are all well, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!